get your daddy? Come on, Bubba. Let's go get daddy.
Are strong. Army families are Army strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Sergeant First Class Harbert would like to present a bouquet of blossomed red roses to his wife, Kelly, and daughters, Savannah and McKenna, for their outstanding support throughout his career. Sergeant First Class Harbert would also like to present his sons Caleb and Gabriel with gifts also for their continuous support throughout his career. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Timothy M. Gallagher.
Colonel Carter, distinguished guests, family, friends of Sergeant First Class Harbert, I want to thank you all for attending today's retirement ceremony to honor, as his license plate says, Sergeant First Class William Tank Boss Harbert. First off, thank you for bearing with us for a little bit of a technical glitch at the front. You did not abbreviate your service. We cannot abbreviate the anthem for the last time that you'll hear it officially. It's a testament to Sergeant First Class Harbert that when he requested to not participate in the Fort Lee installation retirement ceremony for personal reasons, the Battalion Operations Section jumped full force into building this individual retirement ceremony. They felt, as I do, that this battalion and our nation owed you your moment in the spotlight. Or they expected you to throw a barbecue spread at the end and just wanted to get fed. Either one. Sergeant First Class Harbert entered the Army in 1993 after graduating from West Oak High School in Westminster, South Carolina, and attended basic combat training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. He then attended advanced individual training as a 63 Echo M1A1 Abrams tank hull mechanic. His assignments include 3rd Battalion, 37th Armored Regiment, and 1st Battalion, 13th Armored Regiment, Fort Riley, Kansas, 2nd Battalion, 81st Armored Regiment, Fort Knox, Kentucky, 1st Battalion, 63rd Armored Regiment, Vilseck, Germany, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment, Fort Benning, Georgia. His bio now shifts to reflect Army transformation in a Ford Support Company from the 15th BSB in support of 1st Battalion, 8th Cavalry Regiment, Fort Hood, Texas, and then finally to us here as the Battalion Operations NCOIC at America's 832nd Ordnance Battalion, where we have no tanks whatsoever. Notice that his biography reads like a battle roster of mechanized and armored units. This is a man who has stood his duty on the perimeter for the last 23 years, to include 45 months in Germany and 3 combat tours to Iraq. A man who truly built combat power for our nation and was never afraid to cuss out a tank company commander for not doing PMCS. Today, Sergeant First Class Harbert, you have my permission to stand down from your first general order. You are properly relieved. You are also properly relieved from trying to get me to eat the foods you bring with you from the BP station to include fried okra and fat back. Two foods that this city kid from Boston just can't understand. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Sergeant First Class Harbert's family today for their long and faithful service in support of this man who today ends his active federal service as a soldier, but will continue to serve as a son to Mr. Bruce Harbert, a brother to Melanie, a husband to Kelly, and a father to Caleb, Savannah, Gabriel, and McKenna. I would also like to add a special thank you to Sergeant First Class Harbert's father, Drill Corporal Bruce Harbert, for his faithful service at Fort Benning from 1956 to 1958. It's my understanding that your records were destroyed in the 1973 fire at the National Personnel Records Center at Fort Lewis, Missouri. Sir, as your family rebuilds your record of service, I'd like to present you our battalion coin as a symbol that our nation has not forgotten your sacrifice as well. Paper can be destroyed, but the fighting spirit you instilled in your son is everlasting. Sergeant First Class Harbert, God bless you and your family as you start this next chapter of your life. And I ask that you all continue to hold our Army in your prayers until all of America's sons and daughters come home. Congratulations on your retirement. Steadfast with support, Howard Spare.
At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher and Sergeant First Class Harbert will center themselves for the awards presentation. Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher will now present Sergeant First Class Harbert with the Meritorious Service Medal.
Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. For exceptionally meritorious service as the Battalion Operations NCOIC, Sergeant First Class Harbert's extraordinary professionalism and dedication contributed immeasurably to mission accomplishment. His performance is in keeping with the finest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, the 832nd Ordnance Battalion, the 59th Ordnance Brigade, the United States Army Ordnance School, and the United States Army. Signed, Kurt J. Ryan, Brigadier General, Commandant. Please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher will now present Sergeant First Class Harbert with the Presidential Certificate of Appreciation for his generous, loyal, and dedicated service. The certificate reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been inspiring for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher will now present the United States Army Certificate of Retirement. The certificate reads, from the Armed Forces of the United States of America, to all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that Sergeant First Class William A. Harbert, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Army on the first day of June, 2016. Signed, General Mark A. Milley, United States Army Chief of Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Sergeant First Class Harbert's wife and children will move to the center of the stage for their awards presentation. Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher will now present Sergeant First Class Harbert's children, Caleb, Savannah, Gabriel, and McKenna, with the coveted Army Brat Certificate. Their certificate reads, "An Army Brat is a special type of person and an important member of the Army team. Army Brat do not sign up to be in the Army. They are born into it. They sacrifice as much for their country as their parents. They know what it means to pick up and make new friends. They know what it means to have their parents miss a school play, a sports event, a recital, a birthday, or a holiday. Just because they had to work late, go to the field, or deploy somewhere in the world. They know it is as hard to be in the Army Brat as it is to be in the Army. But above all, Army Brats understand that their job is very important to America. They realize that they are the best reason that their parents devote their service to the U.S. Army. Given on this 9th day of March, 2016, signed, Timothy M. Gallagher, Lieutenant Colonel, Commanding." Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher will now present our Certificate of Appreciation to Mrs. Kelly Harbert. The certificate reads, "Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation to all should say these prisons. Greeting. This is to certify that Mrs. Kelly D. Harbert, on the occasion of the retirement of her husband from the United States Army, has earned grateful appreciation for her own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unfailing support and understanding help to make possible your spouse's lasting contribution to the nation. Signed, General Mark A. Milley, United States Army Chief of Staff." Lieutenant Colonel Gallagher will now present the Keeper of the Flame Award to Mrs. Kelly Harbert. The certificate reads, "Keeper of the Flame Certificate is awarded to Kelly D. Harbert for faithful and enduring service in support of the United States Army Ordnance Corps, soldiers and families. The Ordnance Corps Association hereby confers upon this individual the honorable title of Keeper of the Flame and enjoins all ordnance personnel henceforth to show honor and respect whenever this individual enters their midst. Given under my hand this first day of March, 2016. Signed, Jeffrey A. Carter, Colonel, Commanding." Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Sergeant Major David A. Guttrick.
When Sergeant Harbert asked me to do this, I didn't. First thing I looked at him and said, "Hey, you want to write a piece?" He said, "No, do you." Okay, so today I'm going to do me. But Sergeant Harbert, it has been. You know what? I'm going to go William today because it's officially now you got to get used to somebody calling you William. You're going to hear Sergeant Harbert before. So it is truly an honor for you to ask me to do this, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. This has been something that, as a senior enlisted, we don't get the opportunity to host someone retirement ceremony. So this is my first, so this is a blessing for me to do this for you. And I'm glad you asked me.